it's Jack from B&T MacFarlane, and today we're going to be testing the lift capacity of the BX series from Kubota. So let's get into it. So we finally have our setup ready to test lift capacities of various tractors. This is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Go into different tractor models, see how the lift capacities compare to what's in the brochure. So we have a piece of rebar anchored in the ground with cement about 4 or 5 feet deep with a hook. So we're able to test lift capacities at various heights right on the ground and then all the way up. When you're looking at a brochure for a tractor, for example, the BX23s, the way they measure the lift capacity typically is going to be at the pivot pins of the tractor all the way up to the maximum lift height. So that doesn't really give you a real world example when you're looking at the brochure thinking about how much it's going to lift in your application, because most of the time you're not going to lift the loader all the way up in the air. Sometimes you're basically just going to want it off the ground like this. So that's going to give you a more accurate representation of what it can actually lift doing a test like this. We will do a test again at the top. We'll do a test low, unloading out of the back of a pickup truck, and then again at the top of the lift height. The way I have the strap around the bucket right now, it's going to give us a good real world number of what this loader can actually lift out in the field when you're using it. It's going to be around the entire bucket, so it's going to kind of mimic having a full load of gravel or bricks or whatever you could have in the bucket here. It's not going to be right at the pivot pins like you would see in the brochure. So if you're going to be using this out in the field, these are going to be numbers that you could expect out there when you're using it. So I'm going to turn on the tractor now and see how much it can lift. So you can see there, it pulled just over 700 pounds, which is very impressive for this loader. That's going to be pretty much a bucket full of whatever you can fit inside of the bucket. So now I got it about 2/3 up in the lift height. This is going to be typical of loading something out of the back of a pickup truck or something like that. So now I'm going to fire it up again and see how much it can lift at this height. So it pulled just under 550 pounds there, which again is typically what we would expect out of a lift height of that much. The next one we're going to do is right at the very top and see how close it is to the actual brochure numbers. So now we're at the full lift height of the BX23s. I expect this to lift around 400 or so pounds according to the brochure, so we'll see how accurate that is. We're going to start it up again and see how much it can lift. That lifted just over 400 pounds, just as expected. Typically, you're really not going to be lifting a load this high up in the air. The only time you would really have to do this is if you had to dump a load of gravel or dirt into a dump trailer. So that's where we're going to end today's video. As you could tell by this demonstration we did, as you get higher up in the lift range, you're going to lift less and less weight. So if you're lifting stuff a little bit off the ground or even an inch off the ground, expect to get between 700 and 800 pounds of lift capacity with a bucket on. And of course, if you put pallet forks on this and extend the load out even further, this is going to change the number drastically. That is going to be a future video that we will tackle. And if there's any models that you want to see hooked up to this test and test the lift capacity up to a precise amount, leave that down below in the comments. And as always, if you're enjoying the videos, remember to like and subscribe. If you need help with part sales or service, give us a call at 613-225-0555. Thank you.